is at it again. There is a Looksmaxxing trend of medial canthal cutting. And if you've never heard of that, your medial canthus is this tendon that attaches your eyelids to the inside, right where it connects to your nose. Apparently the goal is to detach this anatomic attachment of your eyelid.
They are now convincing young people to cut off parts of their own eyelids because someone online told them it will make their eyes appear more masculine. Think about how far the programming has gone now. See, this didn't begin with surgery. No. It began with a seemingly harmless idea. Your appearance determines your value. Improve your haircut. Improve your clothes. Improve your fitness. Now, on the surface, nothing is necessarily wrong with that. But somewhere along the way, somehow, improvement became obsession. And obsession became self-rejection. This video is not about pretending looks do not matter, because they do. Appearance can affect attraction, first impressions, and even opportunities people receive. The question is what happens when that uncomfortable truth becomes your entire belief system. Because Looksmaxxing is no longer simply telling people to improve their appearance. It's teaching an entire generation to see themselves as defective.
I had never worked at a restaurant before, and yet I walked into one of the busiest ones in New York City. It wasn't fine dining, but it definitely was like nice dining, but it also was heavily trafficked. It was like the cross-section of tourism, celebrity, rich clientele, a lot of energies. It was a tough restaurant. I walked into this restaurant wearing ripped jeans. I had a t-shirt on. I had a 5 o'clock shadow because at that time I thought that that was something that looked good on me. It gave me a test to do. Items that might be on the menu. It was a big wine restaurant. I did not know anything about wine. I knew that there was white and red wine. Certainly did not know what varietals were, so I couldn't tell you the types of wine. I know that one of the questions was to name 3 white fish and 3 dark fish. And for the dark fish, I absolutely wrote down shark. Shark. May have written down Chilean sea bass for white, but only because I love Jurassic Park and that's a big plot point in it. The general manager came over. He was a very, very tall Italian man. He said, "You're tall, you're good looking, you're an actor, you don't know what to do or say? Act like you do." And I was hired on the spot.
That's an honest admission. He didn't have any experience. He didn't understand wine. He didn't know the menu, but the manager liked the way he looked and gave him an opportunity that somebody else may have not received. That's pretty privilege. But notice something else. His appearance opened the door, but it did not make him competent. He still had to learn the job. He still had to survive being overwhelmed. He still had to become a good server. Appearance can absolutely influence the first moment someone encounters you. It cannot build your discipline, though. Can't build your intelligence. Can't build your character or even your ability to handle life. That is the distinction Looksmaxxing culture deliberately removes. It takes a partial truth. Attractive people sometimes receive advantages and converts it into an absolute conclusion. Your face determines your entire destiny. And once you accept that conclusion, you are no longer improving yourself. You're just trying to earn permission to exist. A face might open a door, but it cannot build the person who walks through it.
Men are not playing by the same rules. All men are not created equal. I made that video talking about D'Angelo's brother because I wanted to prove a point. A lot of times when I do stuff, it's to prove a point. I go back and forth arguing with dudes on this app all the time about handsome privilege, right? And how men are not created equal just like women are not. Men who are attractive, they do not play by the same rules as average men. They do not play by the same rules as very unattractive men, right? They get privileges that a lot of men will never get to experience. When men sit up talking about all men have to pay to play, no, they don't, right? But this is something that you will never fully understand because you've never been in the place of an extremely attractive man. So in your mind, you just can't even conceptualize that there's men who just have to exist and women just throw themselves at them.
There is some truth inside what she is saying. People are not treated identically. Some people are naturally attractive. Some folks are born wealthy. Some are charismatic. Some are unusually intelligent. Every human being enters life with a different collection of advantages and challenges. But watch what happens when those differences are transformed into a permanent caste system. You are told that attractive men exist at the top, average men exist somewhere beneath them, and unattractive men exist at the bottom with virtually no opportunity for love, desire, or meaningful connection. A young man hears that message repeatedly, and eventually he stops seeing himself as a person. He sees himself as a ranking, a number, a jawline, a height measurement, a collection of facial ratios. In the Seth material terms, your beliefs organize the reality you perceive. Once you believe you occupy the bottom of the hierarchy, every rejection becomes proof of that. Every attractive person becomes a threat, and every positive experience gets dismissed as an exception. The belief becomes a prison that appears to be objective reality. The moment you turn yourself into a ranking, you stop living your life and begin measuring it.
So going to the clubs, it shows the very nature of hypergamy and kind of the reasoning behind the whole philosophy of Looksmaxxing, why it's important. The fact that, you know, really only about 2% of the people in nightlife that you see are going to have success with women, are going to be able to take a girl home and have a one-night stand with her, right? 2%. So most people in the clubs stand literally no chance. And, you know, the more content that I do, it kind of displays that and puts an emphasis on, like, you really need to prioritize looking better and starting to Looksmaxx.
Pay attention to the structure of that message. First, you are told that an extremely small percentage of men have a chance of succeeding. That creates fear. Next, you're encouraged to place yourself somewhere inside that hierarchy. That creates insecurity. Then you're presented with a solution. Start Looksmaxxing. Change your face, change your body, change every physical feature you possibly can. That is how insecurity economy operates. It doesn't begin by selling you a product, it begins by selling you a problem with yourself. The beauty industry has done this to women for generations. Now, a newer industry is learning how profitable male insecurity can be. There will always be another supplement, another facial exercise, another hormone, another procedure, another measurement proving that you are still not finished. Because the moment you finally feel comfortable with yourself, the transaction ends. A system that profits from inadequacy cannot afford to let you feel complete. Oh no. They're not selling you improvement. They're renting you an identity that requires another payment every month.
So what you could do is, if you've got something called a recessed radix like me, which is this region here, a recessed nasal bridge, mine's slightly recessed, it could be more forward grown. Those on both sides, like something like this. It's not easy. And you'd rub that in. That way it just gives it a little bit more shadowing, a little bit more definition, and your nose looks more projected.
There's nothing inherently wrong with grooming. There's nothing wrong with makeup. There's nothing wrong with wanting to present yourself well. The problem is the consciousness behind it. When you are taught to inspect your face as a collection of individual defects, you can always discover something that needs to be corrected. Your nose is not projected enough. Your eyes do not have the proper tilt. Your jaw is not sufficiently forward. Your cheekbones are not high enough. Your face stops being your face. It becomes a renovation project that is never completed. And the closer you inspect every millimeter, the less of the complete person you can see. Your body is not an obstacle standing between you and your worthiness. It is not a defective machine you were assigned by mistake. In the Seth material, the physical body is deeply connected to the beliefs, the expectations, and the identity held by the inner self. You cannot create a healthy identity by constantly attacking its physical expression. You may change the reflection, but the person staring in the mirror will continue searching for another defect. The closer they teach you to inspect your face, the less of yourself you are able to see.
What this is going to do is put you in the hospital, because if you cut that medial canthus at home, you are going to destroy your tear drainage system and potentially even nick very important arteries, veins, and even nerves in that area that surround the lacrimal duct.
This is where the belief system becomes physical violence. A healthy person begins looking into a mirror and sees an eyelid tendon as the reason he is not worthy of attention. He sees healthy bones as obstacles. Normal facial features become medical emergencies that only exist inside his own perception. The body becomes the enemy, but the body did not create this hatred. The algorithm didn't invent the insecurity either. It found the insecurity that was already present, amplified it, and surrounded the person with thousands of videos confirming it. That is why this is bigger than just one ridiculous trend. The algorithm learns what keeps you looking, and very little keeps someone looking longer than the belief that something is terribly wrong with them. A confident person eventually puts the phone down. An insecure person keeps searching for the next solution. That is how self-rejection becomes engagement, and engagement becomes money. The algorithm does not need you to love your body. It needs you to keep staring at everything you believe is wrong with it.
Looksmaxxing is ruining your life. I can't tell you how many young men I've seen online constantly complaining and moaning about their attraction levels. Oh, it's over for me. I don't have a chisel jawline. Oh, it's so over. I'm 16 and I'm only 5'8". Oh no. I'm 14 and I don't have abs yet. Is it over for me? Listen, bro, looks are not everything. I'll say it again. Looks are not everything. Get this through your head. Whoever told you that looks are everything is lying to you, bro. You are not defined by your looks. You're defined by what you do with your life.
The most dangerous phrase in this entire culture may be, it's over. I'm only 5'8". It's over. I don't have a perfect jawline. It's over. I don't have hunter eyes. It's over. Some of the people repeating this language are 14, they're 15, they're 16 years old. Their faces have not even finished developing. Their personalities have not finished developing. They have barely even experienced life. Yet the internet has already convinced them that their future has been decided. That belief is far more destructive than any physical feature, because once you believe it's over, you stop developing the qualities that completely transform your life. You stop becoming interesting. You stop developing courage. You stop learning how to communicate. You stop building competence. You stop approaching people. And then the isolation created by that belief becomes evidence that the belief was correct. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy disguised as scientific realism. It's not over because of your face, but believing that it is over can make you abandon the life that was waiting for you. Improving your appearance is not the enemy. Exercise. Take care of your hygiene. Wear clothes that make you feel confident. Go get a haircut that you like. Present yourself intentionally, but understand the difference between improvement and rejection. Improvement says, I value myself enough to take care of myself. Self-rejection says, I must change before I'm allowed to value myself. One begins with worth. The other makes worth a destination you can never reach. Looks matter, but they are not the complete explanation for love, success, attraction, or human connection. You are not a facial ratio. You are not your height. You are not a number assigned to you by strangers on the internet, and you do not become powerful by surrendering your identity to the same algorithm that profits from your insecurity. Improve what you genuinely want to improve, but do not let improvement become another cage, because you were never ugly. You were trained to look at yourself through the eyes of a marketplace that profits every time you feel unfinished. And the moment you reclaim the authority to define yourself, the cage opens. If you found something in this video that sparked a thought, shifted your perspective, or just made you feel more grounded, consider showing some love by buying me a coffee. It helps fuel the channel, keeps the uploads coming, and lets me know that the content matters to you. The link's right below in the description or on my channel banner. No pressure, just appreciation if you're moved to support. And as always, thank you for watching, thank you for listening. I am Tony Victory, a wolf uncaged. Thank you. Peace.